and welcome to Victorious Living Solutions Podcast. I'm your host, Nikeya Young, and today's topic is a topic very near and dear to my heart, and it is called Your Mental Health Matters. Your mental health matters. So, mental health is a very, very, very popular topic right now, and it probably will be for quite some time as we're getting used to pandemic life, or trying to slowly come out of pandemic life and ease back into normalcy, whatever that is. So, what is mental health? And I pulled this information from mentalhealth.gov, so you can feel free to go and check it out. But mental health basically constitutes your emotional and mental and physical well-being. It's all of that is your mental health. And how do you know if your mental health is a little bit out of whack? Well, according to mentalhealth.gov, some of the early warning signs include irritability, feeling hopeless or like nothing matters, feeling unmotivated, feeling tired all the time no matter how much sleep you get, losing interest in things that once used to excite you. These are some early warning signs, not all, but some of the early warning signs that things are not quite right and you need to do something to get your mental health back in order. So, what are some of the things that you can do? Well, you can see a therapist, you can connect with others, you can get physical. Physical activity or exercise releases endorphins, and those are like a little natural happy drug just to get you motivated and get you back in the game again. And if you're finding yourself exhibiting a lot of those early warning signs that I mentioned, you're not alone, and don't feel like there's something wrong with that. The biggest thing you can do if it's lingering and lingering and lingering is reach out for help. Find you a therapist, okay? I am seeing a therapist. Shout out to therapy. Therapy is everything. You can pray. I'm all about prayer and reading the word and everything, but I'm also all about Jesus and therapy, okay? Jesus and therapy. God and therapy. Say it with me, God and therapy. Yes. So, Chicago Christian Counseling is a good resource for finding a really good Christian family therapist. I have utilized them before and they've been extremely helpful. So, shout out to them. I did not get paid by them to say that. So, let's talk about what does it look like when you're in a good space mentally. When you're in a good space mentally, you'll know that because you can focus on things. Things don't easily set you off. You're not snapping at your husband, snapping at your kids, all of that stuff. You're just in a good space. And that is possible. And you can be in that good, healthy mental space. Find some people to help hold you accountable. Have somebody you can reach out to, someone at church, a friend that you can call and be like, yo, I'm not okay. That's another big step. Stop trying to act like you're okay if you're not okay. If you're not okay, just say that. But if you're pretending to be okay, then nobody can help you. Nobody can help you. You can only conquer what you are willing to confront. I had to definitely confront mental health, I would say like about a month or so into it. I gave birth to my twin girls, Nikeya and Nisi, right as the pandemic was starting. When I tell you, the day I went to the hospital for my 34-week checkup and was told my blood pressure was so elevated that I would have to be admitted, that was the day lockdown started on March 11th. And then a few days later, on March 15th, I had the girls via emergency C-section. You'll probably hear them in the background chirping a little bit, so just ignore that. But anywho, just dealing with postpartum issues in the midst of a pandemic. Also, that was the summer of George Floyd and all of the racial riots that erupted all over the city of Chicago. There were at least 2 to 3 big ones that caused businesses to be shut down and looted, and it was just crazy. I remember that time very vividly and thinking the whole world was falling apart, and it was greatly impacting me. I remember being just not able to really focus on anything, feeling a perpetual sense of sadness and like, what the heck did I bring these kids into? I just had these beautiful babies, and when you have a baby, you want things to be a certain way. You envision taking them around to see family members, traveling, doing, like, all of those things have been stripped away. And in addition to not being able to do those things, having to deal with racial tension and what's going on, and is the looting going to reach my neighborhood? It got pretty close. Um, all of those things. And during that season, I would say, like, toward the end of the fall, I decided, you know what? I'm going to go to a therapist just to get sorted out, just to talk about some things, just to make sure that I'm in a good space mentally so that I can be the best person that God has called me to be. And I have to put my own oxygen mask on first, like they tell you every time you get on an airplane, before I can assist others, before I can do the things that God has called me to do, before I can be the best wife I can be, the best mother I can be, the best life coach, speaker, all these other different hats that I wear. And you are no different. So don't let anyone try to shame you. Don't let the devil try to give you any feelings of condemnation if you need to reach out and talk to a therapist, because you know what they do? They give you some coping skills, okay, on how to deal with different things that come your way. It's a lot, and that's okay. They give you so many tools. So reach out to a mental health professional. So you guys are going to be hearing about this a lot. I am going to endeavor, if not in season 1, definitely in season 2, to bring guests onto this podcast that specialize in mental health, because it's something that I believe in so strongly. I'll tell you another practice that I do to check in and just keep a record of how I'm doing mentally. I believe in journaling. I am faithful with journaling. It's good to, because you can feel one way, but when you get the thoughts out onto paper and then you go back and you reread those entries, it really helps you get an adequate gauge on where you are mentally. And I do that for my own personal, that's just, I've done it for years. I think I started journaling in 2nd grade when I got a diary for Christmas, but I am 40 years old now and I still faithfully believe in journaling. If you go to a therapist, don't be surprised if they also have you journaling at times, just to keep track. And then you can discuss some of those entries in your sessions if you want, but it's not required. They also have different worksheets and different things that they can help you do just to navigate your way through all the craziness that is the world we're living in right now. It doesn't matter how much money you have, because us regular, schmegular people, we may think, if I just had more money, or if I just had a better job, or if I just lost 15 pounds, or whatever the case may be, there are people who have all the money they could ever want, who have beautiful facial figures, body, all of that, and they're still struggling with mental health. It doesn't matter. It doesn't discriminate class, age, none of that. Everyone can have mental health issues and need to get some help. So if you're ever feeling like, oh man, I should be able to tackle this on my own, why can't I get this under control? Don't feel like that. You don't have to be Superman or Superwoman, okay? Pray and ask God to help you, but also be open to the fact that God may tell you to get your behind to a therapist, okay? Amen. Now, I cannot leave you without leaving this very important hotline. If you are experiencing suicide ideations, feeling like you want to harm yourself, or feeling like life would be better if you were no longer on the planet anymore, please do not hesitate to call the suicide hotline, 1-800-273-8255. That's 1-800-273-TALK. Okay, that is the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. And if you or someone you know feels that they need it, do not hesitate to call that number. All right, you guys, this is Nikeya Young, Victorious Living Solutions Podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in, and do take care of yourself.